know about planes?
I know a lot about planes.
Buckle in, dude. It's gonna suck.
Put your hand. More gay.
The mystical land of New Jersey.
I don't understand how the laws in this country work anymore.
Welcome to the Rebel Radio Show, live, uncut, and uncensored on WSRR Radio. We're saving the underground music scene. To my right, Shaney.
Hey, everyone.
On the board is Jules.
Hello.
I'm Radio's Rebel DJ Style. Speaking of the underground music scene, quick shout out to the FUs for sending us some shirts and some stickers.
I didn't put mine on, but
No.
I got the same one as Style. That's super kick-ass of you guys to send us some stuff. So
And we've also got some extra swag over there, too, that maybe we'll give out here at a later date. So
yes,
WSRR
RXD
Radio.
swagger. Sorry, I'm getting hyped.
216-859-8699. Of course, that number to text in while we're live on the air today. Or if you're listening in podcast form every Wednesday at 10 a.m., that number still works 24/7, 365. It's live, just like the Discord server. You can join at stylesrebelradio.com or WSRRradio.com. Just don't text and drive, or you might end up getting pulled over. And
Yeah.
you better hope that there's a person in that car.
Don't be a robot. Don't be a self-driving car. And
We do have a
you won't get
CAPTCHA
pulled
test when you text the hotline.
There's a CAPTCHA test when you get into a car. You just have to pick what pictures are a slide.
Yeah.
And it's like, ding, ding, ding. Yeah. So there was a car driving down the other side of Highway Road, I guess, and cops pulled it over.
Yeah, so there was a self-driving taxi, and it was driving the complete opposite lane, straight down the opposite lane of the road, and a cop pulled it over, and so he gets up to the window, he knocks on the window, there's no one in the car, and the window rolls down, the car pulls over, which I think is
Very
interesting.
funny that
The
it
window
pulled over.
rolls down, no one in there.
I want to see the look on the cop's face.
Man car
Yeah.
door hook hand.
Yeah, man, car door hook hand.
And so no one's in the car, and this automated message starts playing, and I'm assuming it puts him on with a representative, because the story goes in detail about how he does talk to someone over a recording or over the phone.
That's so wild to me.
Yeah.
You can't be presented with registration or a legal driver's license. How is this actually legal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says connected to rider support in a robotic voice. So that's awesome.
And this call may be recorded for quality assurance.
Yeah,
of
that's
course.
so good. The cop's just like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah, this had to be a
Wow.
first for the cop, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's one thing for the car to be driving on the other side of the road and having some crazy person driving it. Sure, that's one thing. But pulling over any car and there not being a driver, that is brand new territory for that officer, for any officer.
Yeah, I genuinely am. I applaud the officer for staying there and figuring out the situation, because I would have been beyond confused at that point.
Right. Do you call another officer hey, nobody's fucking yeah.
Yeah, I just pulled someone over and there's no one here.
Yeah.
I just pulled a car over,
No one's here.
and there is no one driving it.
Gonna make on the driver. There is no driver.
It's John Cena.
It's John Cena.
Hey, that's for later. That's so, and being connected to tech support or whatever.
Yeah.
So insane. So I imagine
And-
being the officer and being like, "Hi, this is Officer blah blah with the
Yeah.
blah blah sheriff's department. Your taxi's on the other side of the fucking road right now."
What is the response to that?
Yeah,
So
no.
okay, so the conversation that's reported on the body cam by thebyte.com, most credible source ever,
Yeah.
says that the officer pulls the car over, he gets connected to rider support, as it's called, as the
Mhm.
robot message says, and it kind of puts him on line with the call center. And he says, "Your car here is driving oncoming traffic." And the cop sat there, and the voice on the other end, I'm assuming from the call center, says, "Okay, I'll go ahead and look into that right now."
Wow.
This isn't a tech support situation. What do you mean you're going to look into it? It was on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, the cop I just want a freeze frame of the cop sitting on the other side of the road on hold
Yeah.
outside of this car well, I
want
guess
the
I have to
hold
wait.
music.
Yeah, the hold music playing through the car radio. What the fuck? That's so crazy.
So what happens after the fucking... You can't issue a ticket, right?
Yeah, it says you're unable to issue a citation to a computer.
Yeah, so I assume if I have to, my best guess is the company gets a ticket of some kind. The company gets some kind
Right.
of citation that's just in the form of like a bill from the city, I would
Yeah.
assume.
The car has to be impounded, right?
And then, well, if the
No.
car's not damaged at all, the car
There's
probably
nobody
just
to
gets
drive it home. And
the
how can you trust the computer? Because it just drove backwards on a freaking.
it's definitely
It's
getting
not calibrated correctly.
it's definitely getting powered off immediately, and someone's coming to tow it.
You
There's-
think?
Yeah, someone's definitely going to tow it.
Oh, yeah.
Either the company is going to have to pay for, like, the taxi company is going to have to pay a towing company for them to tow it back. You know what I mean?
Imagine the taxi company sending out just two dudes in a sedan. It's like, all right, you're gonna have to drive the car back.
Yeah, yeah. I guess we're going to have to do this manually.
They send the self-driving towing
God.
company.
Yeah,
I thought automation was supposed to make this easier.
I
I
mean,
have to drive the car now.
I guess that could also happen. Someone could just come out and drive the car back. But I had
We could just have
literally-
a cop take the car, right?
Yeah, I guess. I really don't know how that would work, because then,
Well,
like, how do you
Cops
shut
don't
off?
take the cars. They call somebody to tow it. That's how that works.
But how do you shut off the automation in the car?
So my thought process is, I want to know how the rest of the tech support call played out. But my thought process was probably like the tech support guy was like, I'll look into that right now, and looked at whatever the fuck the diagnostics on the car were, and
Yeah.
went, oh, I'm gonna change this so the car doesn't go to the other side of the road, and then it just kept going
It
after
just
that.
drove
Drove
away.
off.
It just
Yeah.
drove away. Yeah, I guess.
The guy's like, okay, we've looked into it.
problem solved. The cop is standing there on the
Yeah.
side of the road. The car's driving back into the right lane. Like, problem solved, I guess. Like, shrug, problem solved. I have no idea. That's so wild.
The car just turns around.
It is a strange, strange world out there now.
Have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in?
Where, does it say where this was at all in the article?
I don't know.
Arizona. Those motherfuckers.
They're always up to. They're getting as bad as the British, you know.
Those motherfuckers.
All right, new thing. They just drove it into the hole, the
Right
big
into
one.
the crack in the ground.
Yeah.
You know, I think I fucking know a pigeon who might be up to something, all right?
Birds aren't real. The taxis aren't real.
Arizona's
What's going
not real
on
Our
in
in
Arizona?
pets' heads are falling off. Yeah, no, this is a problem. Arizona, we have issues now. All right, we
'Cause
didn't have
again-
beef before, but now we do.
Well, I'm thinking, what's stopping the tech support guy at the taxi company from being like, you know what? I don't want a ticket and just driving the
Yeah,
car
right.
off.
Right, I think yeah, because then does the cop? I'm assuming the cop takes down the plate beforehand so they can like contact
Sure.
the company and issue a ticket via mail or something like that. Like, yo, we know your car was on the side of the road.
I think it's interesting the car pulled over.
Yeah, I guess you have to. It probably is programmed to do that.
Like
if
notice
it's-
the lights.
Yeah, right.
So you're telling
I
me
don't fucking know how any of this shit works. It's all AI.
Well,
I'm not saying it's
There's-
legal. I'm just saying if I had flashing blue lights on my car, could I start pulling over the AI taxis?
My point
Ooh.
being, like, I don't know how complex the programming of this
Yeah.
taxi is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, does it have I'm assuming it has 360 cameras all around it,
Yeah.
and is programmed to notice things like police lights and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So-
Like,
so you know when you were like a kid, right? And you and your friend would go across the street from each other and you'd do like the fake rope thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like sometimes a car would stop to play along, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna in 5 years, kids are gonna be just figuring out how to trip the sensors in the AI cars to make them stop completely.
oh
Yeah.
wow.
It's not gonna be
wow.
like playing with the driver with the rope. They're gonna figure out how to fucking mess with
Find
the
the
cameras.
blind spot in the
Yeah.
camera.
Two suburban kids are gonna be like on Discord and be like, "Hold on, I'm hacking the AI taxi that's driving by right now."
They're just gonna buy like flashing blue lights off Amazon and hold them by the street,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it drives by and stops the car.
Damn, what a world. Well, hey, I'm never
still
getting into
so
one
confused
of
how this is actually legal because there's no one driving the car. There's not a licensed driver. There's nobody even in control if something goes wrong with the computer.
those. I think it's one of those things where they just kind of did it, like do and ask. I forget what the saying is, but do and ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're just gonna make self-driving cars, and then you can make laws around our self-driving
Right.
cars. You know?
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of videos on TikTok and YouTube of the people just finding the issues with the self-driving Tesla.
Yeah.
There's a part in like New York where it will always stop in the red fire lane.
Really?
Yeah, like a bunch of
Interesting.
different YouTubers have gone to that corner just to try it out.
Interesting. That's
and it
very
only
interesting.
stops in that.
There's
red
only one
fire lane.
redeeming quality about Tesla, and that's you can upload sound effects for your honk. That's the only redeeming quality.
For your GPS, you can have it look like Rainbow Road,
I'm just saying, like,
That's
if I
cool.
could honk
Yeah.
and it's just a fart and people are just
Yeah.
confused,
really loud.
that's the only redeeming quality I have with the Tesla, is that
Yeah.
you can change your ringtone. On your,
Teslas are cool. I was just having a conversation with someone about electronic vehicles, and I feel like the Ford F-150, the electric one, the Lightning
Yeah.
or whatever. I
Yeah.
think that is. I would get that before I got a Cybertruck, and I would get a Cybertruck before I got any Tesla. So
That's disgusting, and you should know that.
that's just my opinion. I think that the Cybertruck is cool. I would get it more. Like, I like it more than I like any of the other regular model Teslas, S, X, whatever. But I like the Ford F-150 Lightning with like it's got like a headlight that goes all the way through the front. I think that's really cool looking.
I'd rather drive a '98 Pontiac Sunfire.
Hey, listen, I'm happy in my 2020 Yaris. Stop. I'm happy.
Toyota never got back to us,
Yeah,
so I'm a little pissed at them.
yeah.
I still want a 4Runner, but
We'll get them.
Yeah, no,
Yaris
we'll-
for the gang is still a dream.
we'll work on them.
Yeah,
They'll come around.
the dream hasn't died.
They'll come around. Until they're making self-driving taxis, they'll come around.
Self-driving Yaris.
What if somebody was being taxied?
I'm just glad there was no one
Yeah.
in the car.
Yeah, that would have
yeah,
been
and they got
terrifying.
pulled.
The cop pulling the taxi
you-
over in the wrong lane. There's some guy freaking out in the back seat.
Yeah, like
He's
how
in like
would
fetal
you?
position.
How would you stop the car? I think I would get
I
in.
would
the,
try to
I
get
would-
in the driver's seat.
I would
Yeah.
get in the driver's seat and press the brake. Yeah.
But
What's
then-
stopping you regardless?
What if the cop is pulling you over and now you're the one driving like an asshole?
Right. Well, no, I think you can make the argument that, hey, look, I'm clearly in a self-driving taxi, and I was just trying to stop this thing.
I'm assuming they're going to have a camera inside the self-driving taxi,
Probably.
since no one else is
Probably.
there to monitor.
Probably multiple cameras.
Yeah.
If they have like 360 cameras around the vehicle, I would assume they have more than one camera on the inside too. you
But
know?
at the same time, if I call a taxi and one of these pulls up, I'm getting in I'm either getting in the driver's seat or
Yeah.
I'm getting in the passenger seat.
Well, I think you can. I think that's like part of the shtick is like you can get in the driver's
that's
seat if you
so
want.
weird.
Here's my overall take. I don't think I would order a self-driving taxi
Well,
unless
I'm
it was.
saying if I just order a taxi and this shows up,
I'm not getting in.
I'm calling the company and be like,
yeah.
you forgot something.
Yeah, if I call a taxi service and a car with no human pulls up, I'm calling that taxi service and being like, listen, yeah, what you said, you forgot something. You forgot the person. I'm not doing this. I'm not taking that. That's just my opinion. I don't think I would willingly pay for a self-driving taxi.
That's fair.
And I think that what's unfortunate is we're probably going to get to a point where like that's going to be the norm. Is like
Yeah.
Uber and Lyft and shit like that are going to start switching over to self-driving taxis that are
Ooh.
branded with Uber. They'll be green or like the Lyft ones will be
Yeah.
purple, and you
That's
can get a
crazy.
hatchback or
Yeah, because they do have
Yeah,
a lot
you're
of
right.
issues where people like try to cram 4 people into the back seats of like
right.
Ubers.
And then that'll make a regular Uber be able to fit 4 people
Yeah.
comfortably instead of 2 people or 3 people. You know?
I just feel like car theft is going to go through the roof.
Oh, yeah.
Cameras
Oh,
or
yeah.
not, if you start sending cars without drivers to people's house, you know how easy it's going to be to hotwire that thing?
I know we're saying a lot of buzzwords today already, but Kia boys. I mean,
Kia Boy. What else can you say?
yeah, Kia boys.
Kia boys.
It's gonna be like that.
216-859-8699. Kia Boys, sound off.
Dad didn't leave for cigarettes. He's out in the car, listening to the Rebel Radio Show.
Here's the thing, right? You got to be what, like 16 to work a grill at a restaurant? Is that the rule? Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I know you had to be 18 to work at GameStop because you have to be able to sell an M-rated game.
Yeah.
You have to be 18 to work at most bars, which I think is weird that you can sell alcohol at 18 but not
Yeah.
buy it.
Yeah.
I think gas stations are the same way.
Yeah.
I think you have to be
can't-
18, but that one probably gets slid
Yeah.
a lot more.
And even at Walmart, they have to have somebody old enough to check you out
Yeah.
if you have
yeah.
Yeah.
alcohol.
Well, here's the thing. Apparently in McDonald's, you only got to be about 10 to work
apparently,
the fryers.
apparently in the play place.
Yeah. And I wish this was a story about like Taiwan McDonald's uses child labor. I wish that was the case. But
Yeah.
it's Louisville, Kentucky.
And
Yeah.
Ohio. There
No.
was an Ohio one in there.
Kentucky, Indiana, Maryland, and Ohio.
Sweet.
So, like, that's
Yeah.
4 different states.
Yep. That's most of our listeners,
Yeah. Come on, guys.
guys.
We got to get better. Yeah. 305 children across those 4 states.
Wow. 305? That's too many.
Yeah.
That's child labor in your backyard,
And
folks.
so 2 of them were
Stop
under
worrying about Sheen.
2 of them were under 10 years old. The headline, I'll read it really quick. 10-year-old children were found working at Louisville McDonald's until 2 a.m. 2
Sorry.
a.m.
Night shift babies.
Literally. So, yeah.
Can you imagine that story? Like going to school the next day. When should you do your algebra homework? Listen,
you have no idea.
I was making McGriddles at 2 a.m., dude. I don't want to
The
hear your
grills-
shit right now.
The grills were crazy last
10-year-old
night.
with black coffee,
Yeah,
5
yeah.
o'clock shadow.
You don't know what I've seen.
5th grade
Yeah.
is a rough year for this man.
Dude,
Working
the lunch
till
rush
2
was
a.m..
crazy yesterday.
So, what is it? The Department of
Child labor?
the
Well,
Department
Department of Labor.
Yeah.
Department of Labor was investigating this, and the investigators determined 2 10-year-old children were employed but not paid, and sometimes worked as late as 2 a.m.
Can you
Okay.
consider it employed if you're not paid?
Yeah, they were doing the work.
They were doing the work. That's
And-
employed.
Not gonna lie, it said I read it. They said it was the manager's children, the night manager's children. So
I'm gonna.
That's so crazy that it's not even like a franchisee owner's children or anything like that. It's just the manager's kids.
I wonder how the franchisee felt.
Yeah.
heard
Or
about
if it's
this.
not a franchise, it's a
you got to think like the big boss was probably like, "Oh shit, the manager's getting all this work done solo. We're saving so much money not
Yeah.
staffing the restaurant at 2 a.m."
Right.
And the manager was probably like, "I'm good as shit. Like I can close the store by myself."
Yeah, that's probably how they got the
Yeah.
fucking manager position. Piece of shit, dude. That's so crazy. Making your kids work at your job.
I mean,
All right, come on, kids. We got to go to my job and work.
I guess it's 2 a.m. at McDonald's, but did no one notice? No one noticed that like
Yeah.
little Timmy was back there on the fries.
Yeah. Over the intercom, like, "Psh, hello. What can I get you guys?
Oh,
A
you're
10-year
using the mobile app today?
a 10-year-old's voice. Come on, dude.
Little squeakers.
Yeah.
Like an Xbox lobby.
Yeah, yeah. Am I playing,
Voice cracks.
am I playing MW2 right now? What's going on?
I mean, it's not funny, but
No.
It's
funny.
terrible. It's terrible that the parents would do that.
yeah.
It's
These
just
people were fired, right?
I would
Their
hope.
kids were taken from them, correct?
Yeah, that's another
Yeah,
thing that should
I
probably
mean,
happen.
if the Department of Labor was looking into this and they're like, "Oh, it's your kids," yeah, you're done. We're
Yeah, that's fair.
contacting child services.
Also, like, whoever the actual, not this manager, but the owner of this restaurant is, whoever that big boss of this restaurant is, probably needs some kind of fine, too. Which probably have
They
some
probably
kind of
will get a
repercussion.
fine for
It's-
using child labor.
I guess it is interesting looking at
Unknowingly
it.
or not.
Like, so none of us are parents, but from a parenting aspect, like, you want your kids to start working at a reasonable age.
10.
I don't know if 10 is a reasonable age, though.
At 10, they're like mowing the neighbor's lawn.
This dude gets home
Yeah.
from work at McDonald's at 2 a.m. and his kid's sound asleep. And he goes, "God damn it, why don't you get a job?
Get a job already.
You lazy piece of shit."
At
Watching
10,
cartoons. On the TV. What the hell are you doing?
At 10, you're babysitting.
Oh,
Or-
you want non-off-brand Frosted Flakes? You better get your ass out there and work for it, then.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like 10-year-olds do lemonade stands.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and like it's something too where I think of like you have to be 16 years old to work the frying,
Yeah.
or like the grill or whatever, and like that seems reasonable. That's
yeah, you can
fair.
drive a car.
Right, that's
work a
fair.
grill.
That's reasonable. I think a kid working at McDonald's at 16 years old, totally kosher.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. It starts to trickle when it's like family businesses and you're like 11, 12, 13. And
Well-
it depends on what you're doing and how much you're doing and what your responsibility is. And
If I'm not mistaken, within certain limitations, I don't think
Mhm.
like using grills and shit like that falls under that. But I'm pretty sure if you own like a family-run business, you can
Mhm.
have your kids work there.
so I think you can. I think there are probably stipulations in like child labor laws
Right.
that are like family-run business.
Sure.
Like, there's probably a specific, section that
Yeah.
has to do with family-run businesses and
Like
shit
how
like
many
that.
hours they can probably
Right.
work a day.
Right,
and what
right,
the
right, right.
limitations of that are. Like they can
And
wipe the tables. And
If they have
Yeah.
to start getting paid after a certain amount
Right.
of,
Yeah.
or whatever, whatever the case may be, I don't know. But like, just thinking about it from a parenting aspect, if I owned, say, a restaurant
Mhm.
and I had
Eating wieners.
eating wieners and I had a little 10-year-old kid, I don't know if I would necessarily ask them to work a shift at the restaurant. I might ask them to like
This is
clean the tables or something.
if,
Probably
like,
wouldn't work out well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If they showed up and they were like, "Oh, let me help," I would be like, "Yeah, wipe the tables down,
Right.
But
Do
not-
something small.
drop some fries."
Mommy,
Right.
can I come to work with you?
10
Yep, you're on the
minutes.
fryers.
Yeah. I'm not telling little Timmy to drop the fries.
I'm gonna need
Yeah.
these hoods deep cleaned too. The
Yeah.
greaser's under the sink.
Yeah. That's just so crazy to me.
They really went full manager.
I think I
That
would
was
start.
every aspect of their life. They were a manager in every aspect.
I think I would start letting them do that shit at like 14.
Sure.
I think
Yeah.
14 is a reasonable age.
I'd even argue 13.
No, I
Maybe, depending. I
Yeah.
think I could argue that, and that would be like I wouldn't let my kid. I wouldn't let my 13-year-old kid work at another restaurant at 13, but I would feel comfortable letting my kid
Yeah.
around my restaurant at
At
13.
2 a.m., and I'm like, hey, clean the table.
Yeah. Clean the tables. I'll show you how to make a burger and drop
Yeah,
some fries,
yeah.
and I'll get you learning or something like like you can make the
Yeah.
dinner if you want or
Not
something like that.
running
this
the
done.
line.
Right, exactly. I think that it's like a Professor Oak. There's a time and place for that. But now it's not the time nor place. Yeah.
I'm just saying, this doesn't happen if we automate McDonald's. Just fucking automate it, folks.
Yeah, we could automate the McDonald's.
This should be the stipulation. If you're caught with child labor,
You have to
automated McDonald's.
you have to have an AI
That's
McDonald's
it.
at that point.
You've lost the privilege.
Well, honey, the franchise is going AI. We're fucked. Computers are taking our fucking McDonald's now. Robo burgers.
I know we talked the other week about Chick-fil-A and the exorcism
Yeah.
coming in the next day. Imagine coming in the next day like, hey, can you cover overnight tonight? Why? I thought so-and-so covers it. Oh, no, that was just her and her kids we found out. So,
Turns out that was 2 10-year-olds
in a trench coat.
yeah, on the fryers.
they were running front register. 2 10-year-olds in a trench coat and a McDonald's fedora.
It says there's a fine amount that the 3 franchisee owners got, but I can't see the amount.
It was 212,754 in civil money.
$212,000.
Yeah, 754.
754.
Yeah, in civil money penalties
That's crazy.
for the child labor violations. So they have to pay a lot of
The
money.
owners of the restaurant now have to pay for something they apparently didn't know about.
Okay, hang on. I got the federal laws for child labor laws.
Uh-huh.
Between the limits of 14 and 15-year-olds include work must be performed outside of school hours, no more than 3 hours on a school day, including Fridays, and no more than 8 hours on a non-school day. No more than 18 hours during a school week and 40 during a non-school. That seems like a lot of hours during a non-school week.
That's
That's a
very
full-time paycheck.
Well, that's very
Um,
interesting
Hey,
because
I was making a lot in high school.
Yeah,
also, hang
I
on, no
think-
earlier than 7 a.m. and no later than 7 p.m.
is that on any day?
With exception to June 1st and Labor Day.
What?
Yeah.
That's strange. Well, okay, I guess those are the days that like you no one should be in work. I worked like later and earlier than I would go when I was younger. I started working my first job when I was 15, and
Yeah.
I would come in at
Yeah, I'd be there. It's like 6:30.
6 a.m. and I would work like long hours. I would work like 4 to 10 after school, and so like and I would do that multiple.
That's more than 3 hours on a school day.
Right, I would do
That's
that.
more than 16 hours in a school week.
Well, and I would do that multiple days a week. Too.
Yeah.
I would do that like 2 or 3 days a week, and
That's
then like
crazy.
1 day a weekend. So
I want to know who got pawned off with the child labor laws. They're like, you know what? If it's not a school week, they can work a full 40 hours. That's a full-time job.
yeah.
40 hours dictates full-time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
But
I think
it's
it's a thing of it's not a
Consistent.
it's not a school week. They're probably thinking summer, and they probably are under the guise that kids want summer jobs. So
I guess, yeah.
let's let them work during non-school weeks way more so that they can make the money if they want to.
But
you
no
know?
later than 7 p.m.
What was
Not
it?
2 a.m.
What was it? 2018 Minecraft was the best-selling game of all time or something like that? Kids yearn for the mines, man. Put them back in.
Put them back in the mines.
Put them back in the mines.
Put 'em back
Let
in
them
the
work a
mines.
40-hour week in the mines.
Dude, I'm saying let's put kids. Oh, this is probably something that's already legitimately happening, which is scary. But putting kids in like virtual Bitcoin mining things, having kids
Acting like it's Minecraft and they're mining Bitcoin.
yeah, dude, kids mining virtual Bitcoin for like sleazy people. That totally feels like something that would be like the plot of a movie or something like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen, all I'm saying is next time you go through the drive-thru at McDonald's and your burger tastes like shit, keep in mind it could be because it was a 10-year-old that made it. So don't go too hard on that.
Yeah, don't pull back around and yell through the
Hey!
through the the speaker.
No one ever taught you how to make a burger? Little 10-year-old and they're crying.
I tried my hardest.
Imagine I want to speak to the manager. They come out like, don't yell at my son like that.
yeah. How dare you yell at my children like that?
What?
What are you talking about? Yeah.
Buddy,
Ah.
it's 2 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Exactly. Why would you yell at them?
What does that have to do with anything? That doesn't give you the right to yell at children.
That's so 4 different states too.
Yeah.
That's us. That's us.
Yep. And I bet there's tons more is the thing.
Yeah, probably tons more that they didn't catch on.
I wonder,
too,
like,
yeah.
per capita, what is the general percent of illegal child labor? Because it's probably a lot higher
Probably
than
a
we'd
lot.
think.
Probably a lot because you have to think about how many jobs employ like family, friends, kids
Yeah.
under the table. You
Yeah.
know, that's always a big.
Yeah. 216-859-8699 if you're looking for a 2 a.m. shift and you're in 3rd grade.
Hi, this is.
to the Rebel Radio Show. Legal in 47 states.
Illegal in 47 states because of child labor laws. That's what it is.
No.
Amen.
They got us good. They really cracked down on us. And I know Alaska or not, because we went off on Alaska about volcanoes or something.
Yeah, fuck Alaskan volcanoes. That shit doesn't exist.
That's what I'm saying. So basically what you're going to want to do is follow these steps. And this is from Sony. Make sure the child lock feature is disabled. That's poor timing. Try to open the disc tray. And if the issue persists, turn off the power to your DVD player, unplug the cord for at least 30 seconds, and plug it back in. Then power on your device and try to open the disc tray again.
Okay. I was wondering what I was going to do.
Yeah, so if you're wondering how to fix the disc tray error on your Blu-ray Sony DVD player, there you go.
So I went to Best Buy the other day. Just going to kind of segue over.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. And I went to Best Buy, and I was walking around looking for DVDs. And it was maybe like a solid 10 minutes of walking around through every section.
Why did you just felt like looking for DVDs? Was there a DVD you were looking for? Was it Pure Country?
Listen, I was going shopping. I was having a me day. I don't buy myself clothes or anything fun normally.
You just told me in the break you bought 4 pairs of pants.
This was
I'm
the same
breaking
outing.
the fourth wall.
This was the same outing.
So don't say you don't buy yourself clothes.
Well, I just did. It was the same venture. And so I was like, you know what?
Was it like a consolation prize?
I bought myself clothes, so I was like, you know what? I'm already out shopping. I kind of want to see if I can find some DVDs. And my reasoning for not going to like Target or Walmart or anything like that is because they always have the same DVDs, and it's such a small selection. Yeah. Walmart has a little bit bigger of a selection.
Well, they got the bins, right?
Yeah, they have the bins, which are nice, but
they're untrustworthy.
Yes. So I went to Best Buy because I knew that they had a big Blu-ray selection. No, nothing. Ventured through the entire Best Buy for a solid 10 minutes, nothing. I get to an employee, and I'm like, hey, like, where's the DVDs? Where's the chapstick, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, sitting on the toilet. And
damn, you had a hell of a day.
Yeah. So
and also this guy was like 10, so
yeah, he was 10. It was crazy. No,
he's like, what's a DVD?
He was like, we don't have DVDs. They stopped selling DVDs like 2 or 3 months ago at all Best Buys. They don't sell DVDs, Blu-rays, anything like that at all. They still sell home phones. They still sell a bunch of old tech. You know, they still sell old techie things that old heads still use, but they don't sell DVDs. Yeah, I said old heads. Old people. Hooligans. Those malarkeys. I don't know. Old people, dude.
Yeah.
Old people still use home phones and shit like that. There's still a market for home phones, so Best Buy still sells them.
That's weird.
There's still a market for DVDs and Blu-rays. Best Buy said, fuck you guys.
Is there?
Yes, 100% there is. 110% there is.
Didn't Marvel say like the last DVD they're producing was whatever the last Spider-Man was? Wasn't that their thing?
Disney said they were going to stop selling. Disney as a whole said they were going to stop selling DVDs in Australia.
That's right. I do remember that.
And we talked about that.
Yeah.
I don't even know when.
Well, because all the Walmarts in Australia stopped selling DVDs because of that.
Right. So it's definitely having a trickle effect.
Yeah.
Clearly. But so this leads into Sony is now killing off like recordable Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Meaning you're not going to be able to burn the DVD. Like you're not going to be able to burn the Blu-ray anymore. Mm-hmm. Which I didn't even know. And you brought this up, which is a good... There was even a big market. Like, I didn't even know there was a huge market for this sort of thing.
Right. So, number one, when was the last time someone burned a DVD?
Right. When was the last time someone was like, hey, man, I
burnt you a copy of Batman.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that kind of thing did used to happen. Yeah. You would get burned CDs or DVDs from an uncle or a friend.
And it had the Sharpie written on it.
Right. That was a thing that happened, and you'd get, like, 6 DVDs that were all different new movies. But nowadays, that kind of thing isn't nearly as common.
And to my knowledge, the reason that the format changed on these DVDs, not like the ones you buy from Sony, but they were for like Blockbuster, Netflix, Redbox, so people couldn't go and rent a movie at Redbox, burn it, and return it like the same day, and pay like 50 cents for it.
Okay, so I didn't know. So Redbox movies, you couldn't burn them?
No.
That's interesting. I did not know that. Yeah. I always figured that you could.
Yeah, and so that's why that was put in place.
Interesting.
But what's I'm trying to figure out is, and I guess theoretically, if you have the DVD, if you buy Spider-Man 1 from Sony. It's a Sony-produced DVD, right?
Right.
If I go and buy Spider-Man, I guess I did purchase that DVD so I can do whatever I want with it. So it makes sense that they wouldn't, have that restriction where I can't burn the DVD if I don't want to, right?
Right.
But it's an interesting concept to do in 2024 because, like we said, who's burning DVDs?
Right.
And also this, and again, this is a very nostalgic conversation that I'm sure a lot of the listeners won't understand.
Sure.
And it's you had a CDR and CDRW or WR, one of the two. And so it's
WSRR.
Yes, sorry,
216-859-8699.
Send us your DVDs.
Yeah.
Via text.
Sorry.
Text us your DVDs.
Yeah, text us a picture of your DVDs.
Email me a hoagie. No, but so a CDR or a DVD-R is a DVD read, and then a RW or WR is a read and write. So one could be burned and one was just to play.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Sony is now getting rid of DVD WR or RW read and write.
Right.
And again, it's just an interesting move, and I guess it kind of makes sense if they're spending more money to be able to have you burn DVDs, and now they're just saying, you know what? No one's burning DVDs. Let's get rid of them.
You brought up a good point before recording. There are so many pirate sites now where you can just watch a movie online.
You can stream any movie for free if you really want to. You have to get a Fire Stick, but still.
Well, there's also websites out there where you can literally just look up a movie.
Right.
You have to exit a lot of pop-up ads, but
right.
you can watch it.
But I think that's the reason for this, is Sony realizes that they're wasting money having a read and write disc that they're producing when they could just make a cheaper, thinner disc that's just a read because no one's going out of their way to burn.
I wonder if Sony still produces blank CDs or blank DVDs
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If
there's always that stack.
Right, if they are in the market of being able to profit off of burning CDs, you know what I mean? Because if they don't produce CDs and DVDs anymore, then it also adds to the fact of, well, then we're not going to make our DVDs burnable.
Right.
It's just very interesting to me because I didn't know that there was a big market for this. I didn't know about the write and the read and write thing. That's very interesting. It's just this whole DVD wave, a Blu-ray wave that's it's all coming to an end is very strange to me. And
2024 killed Blu-ray.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I collect these. I need more. Send me your Blu-rays, please.
Titanic.
Yeah, send me Titanic.
Yeah.
Please.
What? I know we've had this conversation a little bit. I don't think this is going to be Blu-rays, DVDs, VHS even, because that's becoming a thing. Yeah. I don't think these are going to be nostalgic like a vinyl record will.
Really?
I really don't think we'll ever get there. It's going to go the way of a Betamax tape and an 8-track. No one's clamoring over them. They're always going to be out there, but I don't think there'll be definitely people that are big vintage collect. I know people that go out and spend hundreds of dollars on CRT TVs that I can go down to the street corner and find for free. But there's going to be those people. I just don't think it's going to have the mass appeal like a record did.
I can agree with that. My argument for that is it's the only version of hard media that you'll be able to get of that. It's that only version of hard media. I don't know how to word that, I guess, but that's the only version that you'll be able to physically hold. And with music, there are options.
Right.
There are CDs and record players and vinyls, and you have options if you really want, and you can transfer it to other mediums.
Sure.
With movies, it's a VCR or a DVD or a Blu-ray is kind of different, but it's pretty much the same thing. You know what I mean? You can group those two things together pretty much. Well, so it's just interesting to me that I feel like that is why it will stand the test of time for me.
I guess the bigger issue with this too that might be a cause for concern is, like you said, you can take a CD and you can burn it to an MP3. You can put it on an MP3 player. You can send it digitally, whatever.
Right.
But if we stop having the write feature on the DVD itself, I know back in the day I used to tape Monday Night Raw, and it'd have to be a read and write blank DVD that you put in there, and it would record over it.
Yeah.
But we also had the dual thing with a VCR in it, so you could tape something on the VCR side, on the VHS tape, and move it to the disc and burn it to the disc.
That's really
or if you had, Dumb and Dumber on VHS, you could burn it to a disc.
Right. That's really cool.
If they take away that feature, you can't even do that in a digital sense. Like, I know when it first became a big thing, and I think that's why a lot of the security practices came about, is people would take, like, oh, I got The Dark Knight on Redbox, I'm going to put it on my laptop and download the whole movie and return it. Now I have a digital copy of The Dark Knight.
Right.
Where this now hinders that too, of we don't have that option, like you were saying, of having a digital medium anymore of it, unless we pay for a streaming service that happens to have it.
Right. I feel like it's one of those things where we're slowly getting pigeonholed into having to stream.
Not the pigeonhole.
Oh, dude, I know. I've been using that term a lot lately, and I think about that motherfucker all the time.
I've noticed it more recently because every so often Hulu will have a movie that Netflix used to have.
Yes.
And
they switch from one to another.
And just so you have to buy the other one to still watch that movie.
Right.
I had this conversation with my aunt the other day because she is on some new streaming thing, bootleg thing that she was bragging about. And I told her, she brought up the movie Great Balls of Fire. It's from like 1995. It's a Jerry Lee Lewis biopic. Yeah. And it's not on anything, and it never has been. And I told her when I first moved out, I bought 4 movies on DVD because I tracked them down, and some of them were hard to find than others. I bought Walk the Line. I bought Great Balls of Fire, I Saw the Light, and the 2005 Elvis movie. Because those are like 4 of my favorite movies, and I wanted to make sure I had physical copies. Because at the time, the only one that you could find on streaming was Walk the Line. So I went out and bought these movies. And like now, they're all over. The Great Balls of Fire is still not on anything. I Saw the Light, I think I have on Amazon. They took Walk the Line off Amazon, even though I paid for it.
Oh, that's
which
wild.
Is an interesting thing they can do now, by the way.
That's wild. Because I know that you can buy movies on like your Amazon account, and then it will just stay there forever, and you can always go back and watch it. So that's interesting that they can take a movie off of that.
So yeah, I bought the line. I bought Walk the Line. I bought a line, and then I'm like, dude, I gotta watch something. I gotta take the edge off and calm down. So I bought a line, and then I went on Amazon, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch Walk the Line. And I had it bought already. I bought the extended cut specifically.
Right.
And I went and I noticed it said currently unavailable. And I'm like, okay, well, let me go to my section, my movies,
my
whatever it's called.
movies.
Yeah. And play it from there. And I went to play, and it said unavailable, currently unavailable. I'm like, I paid like $23 for this digital copy of the movie. How the fuck are you going to tell me it's unavailable?
That's so wild. I did not know that Amazon could do that. Because I always thought that those movies in your My Purchased tab, that was forever. You purchased those. Wow. Very interesting.
That is where I'm an advocate still for physical copies. However, I am also like not the guy going out and tracking down DVDs.
I will say,
anymore.
I know I've bragged about it a couple times on the show, but YouTube TV's concept of like they do it like live TV with different channels, but then you can record movies and you can look up movies if they don't have it already pre-recorded, and like wait till it comes on one of those channels and it will record it for you, and then you'll have it in your library forever.
That's
so what you're saying is in like 2014 we peaked, we had it right.
Yeah. People don't use, and that's the other thing. Yeah, people don't really use YouTube TV.
Yeah, nobody uses YouTube.
It's not
TV.
A popular platform.
So
but
like,
it's a cool concept in theory.
Well, because I remember we had DirecTV growing up in like 2014ish, and their whole big thing was you didn't have to buy a TiVo anymore. You could set things to record ahead of time. You didn't even have to watch the channel. You got like so many gigabytes to save.
Yeah.
You could schedule a show anytime it was on to record and avoid reruns and shit like that. That was peak. Yeah. That was fucking peak.
Yeah.
So we're going back to cable?
We've talked about it 100 times, but yeah, I think we're going, and like HBO and Stars and Max and all of them are going together now.
Now I feel like it's not like we're going back to cable. It's worse than cable because we have too many options, and you have to be, like you said, you have to be subscribed to them
all of them to even get the content that you want.
Right, exactly.
They trade.
So it's like you're spending more money than you would have on a cable subscription on literally 10 different streaming services, or maybe 8 different streaming services.
Let me take it a step further, because I think we're beyond spoiled at this point, just having that much choice in general.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'll give you a personal example. Twice now, I have gone to watch a movie, and I've seen, it's on Hulu. I'll watch the fucking movie. And 30 minutes into the movie, there's an ad, and I go, I'm watching a movie. I don't want to see a fucking ad.
Yes.
And I go and buy the movie on Amazon.
Oh, wow. Okay, wow. No, I watched
so
the
I'm spending
I
more money.
begrudgingly watch the ads.
Oh, no.
I'm like, you fuckers.
Oh,
I'll do it.
No.
Yeah, it's
If I really just want to fucking watch the movie, I'm not getting taken out by a Febreze ad 30 minutes in.
See, I have done that for movies that aren't on streaming services. I will rent the movie off
Sure.
like YouTube or something like that. 'Cause it's only $4 or $8,
Right.
whatever. So I don't care.
7 days to finish, 48 hours to.
Also, hang on, let me throw this out there.
Yeah.
Because Nacho Libre was the movie I fucking rented
Oh,
on
yeah.
Amazon. It was on Hulu. There was ads, so I
Yeah.
rented on Amazon.
Yeah.
You get it's yeah, like you said, 7 days to finish.
Or 7 days to start, 48 hours to finish once started.
Yes. Yes.
I bought the fucking movie and it started me at the credits.
Oh.
So it was
Yeah.
about to be like, oh, you watched the whole movie. It's done now. Fuck
Wow.
that.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, I caught it with like 11 minutes left in the movie, and I'm like, that shouldn't be a thing.
That's wild.
How did that happen?
And you have to. That's like I hated that about VHSs, having to rewind.
Yep.
Because then you would see the whole movie and you'd be
Yep.
like, well, I know. I remember. I remember what fucking happened now. I don't want to watch this anymore.
So that's an interesting concept. We have all these different streaming platforms and all these different ways to watch movies, right?
Mhm.
But we don't have a main menu for movies themselves. You'd think it wouldn't be that hard to, if you started from a DVD, start a streaming service where
Yeah.
you had all the menu options for each movie. Where I could be like, all right, let me start 3 minutes in. Here's the scene I like.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, scene selections.
Yeah.
and-
I was gonna. This is kind of an adjacent topic. I was gonna bring up the point that, like, I think you said it earlier, but we have too many options.
Oh, yeah.
now. We have.
Yeah.
We can't. We don't know what to pick. We have so much stuff that we don't know what to pick, and we don't know what's good, and we don't know if we should get the new streaming service, if it's worth it. We have to
Right.
wait, and then they have the new thing, and it's like, well, I want to watch The Office, so I guess I have to get fucking Peacock, you know?
Right.
Like, and so I think of there's this Italian place called Piata, and it's kind of like a Italian Chipotle.
Mhm.
You
It's like
can,
Italian fast food, yeah.
yeah. But they have pre-made options for you, and then they also have like the create
Yeah,
your own.
yeah.
And the first time I went with my fiance, she was like, "Well, I'm going to make my own," and I was like, "No, no, 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 no. You don't understand.
You don't know how to do it.
You don't know what you want. They know what you want." Because I had the first time I went there, I ordered like I made my
Yeah.
own, and
It
was
sucked.
It sucked, and it was it was a huge portion, and like it looked good, and I thought I liked the combo, but
Yeah.
and so I think it's one of those situations of with the streaming platforms, like,
You could watch anything all the time, whatever you want.
and so it's just like I don't know. I'm just gonna scroll mindlessly
Mhm.
until I find the perfect, and you never find that. So it always feels like you're settling on something. Like, well, okay, I guess I'll watch this.
Well, I think, too, in addition to that, the amount of time you spend fucking scrolling and doom scrolling your apps and your options has drastically increased. To where,
100%.
like, I can sit down at 6 p.m. and be like, all right, I'm going to watch TV, and it's like 7:45 now, and I don't know what the fuck to watch because I'm going
Right.
through everything.
Right.
Whereas I've even had recently where I've come home and be like, I just want to turn on the TV and
Yep.
watch something.
Yep.
But I can't do that anymore unless I go to, like, Pluto. But,
Yep.
like... I
Well-
love Pluto, don't get me wrong, but like I'm tired of seeing the same 6 episodes of everything.
And then that's the YouTube TV argument for me too. Is like it plays out like a live TV would, where it
Mhm.
has time blocks and
Yeah.
different channels, and you can switch it. And it has commercials, and it has the end credits of the show, and then there's commercials, and then the beginning credits of the next show,
Yeah.
and it functions very similarly to just like what circa 2012 cable was
Right.
like. You know what I mean? And so that's why I think like it's one of those I can just turn off my brain, turn on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I don't use YouTube TV that much. I just have it because I have YouTube Premium.
Mm-hmm.
But like it feels like one of those things where you can just turn it on, turn off your brain, and let the shows scroll through,
Yeah.
play through, whatever. And then you can change the channel if you want, and something else will be playing. You don't have to worry about,
That's another thing that you got me on that I begrudgingly pay for every month now without thinking about is YouTube Premium. I'm not watching ads anymore.
It's such a luxury. And then the 1 month that you forget to pay, or like,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, whoa, hold on, I can't lock my phone when I'm.
Yeah, so I don't use my my personal YouTube account when I'm at the studio.
Mhm.
So I'll go and I'll look up a video or something and it'll have ads. I'm like, wow, I forgot how much I hate having to watch. Because now it's like 2 30-minute ads before a video.
Yep.
I'm
yep.
like, I can't do this anymore.
It's gotten very bad. And
I know people that don't pay for Spotify Premium anymore, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like, I
no,
don't know
that's
how you do
crazy.
that.
Yeah.
How do you go back from that?
Well, it's interesting. I don't pay for Spotify Premium, but I'll use it sometimes just to rewatch the show
Mhm.
or offer shit like that.
Do they give you ads for our show?
Yeah.
Really?
I get ads for literally everything because I don't have.
That's crazy.
I don't have.
They do that for podcasts and shit too.
I don't have a premium
They
account.
never
so-
used to do that for podcasts.
Yeah, that's what I'm, like. It used to be like you get 5 songs on an ad on Spotify,
They also they give you audiobook listening hours.
and you can't buy more.
Yeah.
If you send me a song on Spotify, I don't think I can't play that song. I can play that song's radio. So
Wow.
like
That's
I can
terrible.
I can only hear like a quick 15-minute like excerpt of it.
Wow.
And then if I click on it, it plays that song's radio, and it will be like it's
Yeah,
like a
just
Pandora.
recommended, yeah.
Right. So yeah, I not having a Spotify premium account and using like Apple Music and something like that, and having
Yeah.
other people around you send you Spotify stuff is really. I'm like,
I'll
oh
just
man.
start sending you stuff on YouTube then.
Oh, I use YouTube for literally everything.
Yeah.
I use it for music. I use it for watching content.
I want to know, genuine question for anyone out there listening on Spotify, if you do or don't pay for Spotify Premium, number one, and if it's worth it. But number two, if you're listening without Spotify Premium, how often do ads pop up in the show? Because it's a 55-minute show.
Yeah.
And how often does that deter you from continuing to listen? Because I feel like if I turned on a podcast and had to listen to 30 seconds of ads, got 10 minutes into it, and there was another 30 seconds of ads that didn't relate to the show, weren't from the show,
Yeah.
it was just Spotify telling me to buy their shit, I'd turn it off.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, again, I haven't, but it's like just random. So
Yeah.
we'll be in the middle of talking and then ad,
Yeah.
and so
Okay, well, we're coming up on a full hour here. 216-859-8699. If you're listening on Spotify, if you're not using premium, let me know how many ads you encountered and the length of the ad. I want to know about it. And if you're not listening on Spotify, if you're listening on TuneIn, Anchor, Pandora, iHeart, Google, YouTube now,
Yeah.
or if you're listening on WSRR Radio Live, let me know if there's a reason you choose one or the other. You should always listen on WSRR Radio, though.
Live 365.
There you
Download
go.
the app.
Yeah, take it with you wherever you go. Pairs with all your car stereos and speakers.
Yeah,
and again, 216-859-8699 is that number. You can also just go to the homepage, WSRRradio.com, and play us directly from there. I think that's where our top demographic is anyway.
Yeah.
third week in a row, I've been just chugging that ayahuasca. It's a crutch.
Would you do an ayahuasca
No.
tour thing?
No.
So immediately ready to turn that heel. Just so immediately, not even a thought.
He's
Grace's
watched
head.
so many
It
videos.
was so like instantly no. Obviously not, dipshit. Why would I ever consider? What makes you think I would ever consider that? The fact that I say constantly that I'm presently doing ayahuasca? Maybe. I don't know.
Welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show. We're live, uncut and uncensored on WSRR Radio. What are you shaking your head at?
This guy, dude. This guy. This freaking man.
All right, Shaney is to my right.
Hey everyone, how we doing?
Jules is on the board.
Howdy.
216-859-8699 is the number to text in. I just want to real quick throw it out there, too. I always feel bad because I don't typically have the number pulled up right away.
Yeah.
But I'll try and look at my phone through the breaks to check it.
Yeah.
And I know that all of our socials are like everywhere on the page and everything like that.
Yeah.
You guys love to fucking Snapchat me and send me voice memos on Instagram. I can't. Those
Yeah.
are things this is why we have the number. I'll get to them after the show. 216-859-8699 to text in during the show, or if you're listening at any time to any of our programming. Of course, that number always works for all of our shows, Rebel Replays, off-air recasts, the Pigeonhole, all the good stuff that you find on WSR already. You can even send messages for True Volt Escapades on it.
Dude.
That's 10 p.m. weekdays right here, WSRR Radio. We can also be trusted with nuclear launch codes, so send those to us.
We can. We're trustworthy.
Yeah.
This
guy cannot.
This guy can't be trusted with much of anything.
So I got caught off guard this morning by this headline that reads, "Man loses nuclear security clearance after getting catfished by a celebrity meme."
Yeah, that's
a loaded one.
so. What was making me shake my head earlier was the line under that says the man was arrested after embezzling more than $3,000 for a nonprofit and getting into a physical fight with his sons.
Yeah, so let me break down this full story.
How,
This guy works for the Department of Energy,
what?
a federal organization. He works for the
Yes.
Department of Energy.
Yes.
Had been embezzling over $3,000 in a fake company that he had set up as like a charity nonprofit. The
this
reason
is like George
It
George
is.
Costanza. This is the
the Human Fund.
The Human Fund. The People Fund. I don't know.
Something like that.
I don't remember. You might be right. It might be the Human Fund.
It's one of the two.
I don't remember.
And well, a charitable donation has been made in your name if you're listening right now.
Yeah.
Just know that. But he embezzled over $3,000.
$3,800.
And the reason he did it is because he was getting catfished. I don't think it says what the celebrity was.
Yeah, it doesn't say the specific celebrity, but it says by someone online who he thought was a famous actress.
Okay, so he got catfished by a famous quote unquote famous actress, which number one,
If they're famous, they're not struggling for money.
yeah,
Come on, man! Like
we've talked about
Come
this
on.
to nauseam at this point about people getting like there are really tricky scams out there and people that are very malicious. When Jennifer Aniston is messaging you on Instagram asking for money, that ain't
right,
it, dude.
Right, like you gotta get.
You're not him.
Right, you gotta get the bigger picture that this probably isn't really happening right now. Oh, dude.
And so rather than sending his family's money, he embezzled $3,800 from his work through a nonprofit.
That's so horrible.
While he's working at a federal organization in their nuclear division.
So the contractor sent the celebrity the $3,800 in the money that he'd embezzled from the nonprofit, and then got into a physical fight with his family when they found out. Whoa, the fight landed him jail time, and when he got out, they failed to report the arrest and the embezzlement to his employer. Wow.
Yeah, so let's add that on top too, because it doesn't end there.
God.
So his family finds out. His son realizes that he'd been stealing thousands of dollars from his work and sending it to a scammer.
A literal nonprofit.
Yeah, and so
man.
the son and the father get into a physical altercation. The guy goes to jail for it. They get a restraining order from the father after he gets out of jail, so he can't be near his family.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then on top of that, his work turned around and went, "Hey, did you embezzle money from us? And why haven't you responded to any of the paperwork we've sent you about this?
Oh,
and
no.
also, were you in jail?
Oh,
He didn't
no.
report that he was in jail. He didn't fill out any of the federal documents that they had suspicion of him embezzling.
Oh,
And his
no.
reason for it being he thought it was part of the scam.
No, that
Thought
was
it
the
was-
real part, buddy.
He
He
thought
can't. His
Yeah.
line between reality and fantasy is fuzzy.
When you're
Damn.
embezzling thousands of dollars.
Damn, he thought it was part of his own scam.
Just some advice for all you out there embezzling thousands of dollars.
Come on.
When you're embezzling thousands of dollars and Jennifer Aniston slides in your DMs,
Yeah.
that one's reasonable. When your
No,
work
it's not.
when
No,
your-
it's not.
when your work says, "Hey, are you embezzling thousands of dollars?" That one might be a scam.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate this guy. I hate this guy a lot.
This guy really played all the wrong cards here.
Just because he's dumb.
Yeah.
Just because he's really dumb.
Yeah. I had brought another story about a woman, an elderly woman, who sent it was like $120,000 to Steve Perry from Journey, and I had that up here initially because I'm like, okay, it's an elderly person, they're getting scammed, but it's Steve Perry, dude. He's not
Right.
reaching out to you for money. It's like when you see the fucking stupid memes of like, hey, it's Nickelback, send us $100 for our next album release, photograph.
Yeah.
Like that's the level of commitment I'm assuming you're getting from these people.
I was telling you this before we went on air, but I was watching something that, and the person doing this giveaway had to put a disclaimer in saying like, hey, just so you know, I will never ask you to message me on Telegram. I will never ask you to buy like Visa gift cards and send them to me. Like, that's a scam.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me that we're now at a point where the content creators themselves who are doing the giveaways have to put a
Disclaimer out there.
like, hey, don't buy into
Bungie
it.
will never ask you for your personal information.
Exactly.
There's even a situation like when I go to get gift cards, I will take the first like 7 off the stack and take the one from the back
Mm-hmm.
because like I've
right.
seen a lot of scammer videos where they're just taking the numbers from those
Yeah,
gift cards.
Right.
Well, let me tell you this. I used to work at GameStop, and we had what we thought was a defective batch of gift cards. And I think they were Google Play cards. And so a lady came in, bought like a $75 Google Play card for someone's birthday or something, checked out, left, got a call like 3 or 4 hours later of, hey, this card's not working.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Right.
We're like, okay, well, was it scratched off or anything like that? It was one of the tear ones. She goes, no, but it was already torn off.
Oh.
And I'm like, shit. All right, bring it back in. We're going to see if we can refund it. Maybe because with gift cards, it's not
It's not
money
on
from
you.
the store.
Yeah.
It's money that goes digitally to
Right.
the company. So we did
Right.
whatever we could, and we ended up looking at other cards, and none of the other ones would scan because apparently at
Whoa.
some point someone had taken the box before it had got to GameStop, skimmed all the cards. And so another store had caught it as well and marked them all as defective.
Wow, that's so
Yeah,
crazy.
so now when somebody pays to activate that card, they're just paying that
it goes right
scammer.
to them. Yeah.
Yep.
It's something where it's like it's kind of complex, but not really.
Right.
It's something that I understand why that is a scam that works for like a year tops,
Well, yeah,
or
and
a
that's the
month
thing,
or
right?
2 tops, and then companies catch on.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
just
and growing up, so like we lived in like the peak of that. Like it was national news stories I remember seeing about people, asking for Visa credit cards and shit like that
Right.
for scams and
Right.
wire transfers and Western Union, right? That was
Right.
all over the news growing up. And I always had the mindset of like, okay, maybe if they're, asking for a wiretap or a Western Union or a check or something like that, I could see people falling for it.
yeah.
I can't see, and I'm talking like anyone elderly in my family, I can't see them getting off the phone for who they think is Social Security and being like, well, the federal government wants me to buy Google gift cards. I can't see that happening.
I think.
And
with,
I
like-
especially can't see that happening if it's Jennifer Aniston.
Listen, man. With AI and like the power to change someone's
Right.
voice now, and like just, it wouldn't surprise me if people get talked into it. I don't know. Like I feel like we could even get talked into something. I don't know. It's just, it's so
Oh,
good.
do you have the payment, by the way, for...
Oh, yeah. No,
You got 3 cards, right?
I only could get 2, but a police officer stopped me and I said, "No, this is legit.
Yeah.
This is a real Donkey Kong helmet. He's going to give it
Yeah.
to me."
Well, there's a Rite Aid down the street?
I
You want to
said,
go...
"It's not a paper mache mask." It's real. From the original Donkey Kong movie. What?
Anyway, I'm gonna need you to get 2 more of those
Yeah,
cards.
no, I will. I got you.
Okay. But yeah, like
The deep fakes are good now.
the deep fakes are good. Also, don't embezzle money from a federal government organization.
Yeah, especially the fact that it's a non-profit.
Like this dude had to. That's the thing. That's
People are making what they think to be like large charitable donations. Really, they're
Yeah.
just funding this guy's crazy catfish scheme.
yeah.
That's so crazy.
It's just funny because I'm envisioning like
This guy was trusted with nuclear codes.
Yeah.
I'm envisioning like those text messages you
Yeah.
referenced, like when they say Tupac is like texting you, like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not dead. I need some money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not dead. I just need some money really
And to your
quick.
point,
Hit me
I
up.
think people should be exposed more for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think like shows like I was making the point before we went on that like shows like Catfish were good for exposing
Habitual catfishers.
habitual catfishers and like the people who do it as like a kink
A
fetish thing.
lifestyle.
Yeah, like a lifestyle where it's like you're fucking with people's lives.
Yeah.
And like I guess this isn't necessarily we don't know if it was a person on the other end that was pretending to be an actress or if it was like just an AI. I mean, I guess
would
you have to
assume it was just a scammer.
I guess yeah, you have to assume that it's a person on the other end, but like yeah, it's bad. These scammers need to be exposed so
There's-
that they don't continue to do this. And I guess in the internet age, it's so much harder to do that. But shows
Yeah.
like Catfish,
Right, but
proves
we've
that
had
they
more
can-
exposure.
yeah.
There's a company called Social Catfish, and they basically do this kind of stuff. They will find like online romance scammers or like the Nigerian prince scams and things
Yeah.
like that, and find elderly people that are falling for it.
Mm.
And they do a great series with Trilogy Media on YouTube, where like they're
Mhm.
2-hour videos of them meeting the people face to face, going over what they sent, how they sent, finding the pictures and where their people are getting
Wow.
them from, and then in a lot of them they'll even like go and find the people that are scammers or
Wow.
receiving money from people or receiving these checks,
Yeah.
and they'll confront them and be like, "Hey, why the fuck are you stealing from elderly people? Why are
Yeah.
you taking people's pictures?"
That's wild.
Yeah,
That's
and
super duper wild.
and a lot of the times they're just like the middleman sending it to like like Uganda or something like that, or India.
bigger sharks.
Yeah. And it's just such a crazy thing that, and even in some of those, after they've had a whole team there and it got like the person who is scamming them on FaceTime and
Right.
shown that it's fake, the amount of people that'll still be like, "No, but I sent more money yesterday."
Yeah.
Like, dude,
yeah.
stop! It's
Right.
not a
Scamming, it has to be like trillion dollar.
And the thing is,
with
Endeavor.
one scam you can make multiple thousands of dollars.
and the thing is, we would never be able to quantify because it's all like unlisted money.
Yeah.
Unlisted transfers.
Yeah.
That have been going on since the dawn of the dawn of currency transfer. You
There's
know what
probably
I mean?
more money made in scams than the U.S. debt.
oh, I'm
yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Between like five people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say this too. You mentioned like the streamers specifying that like, hey, don't listen to comments that are saying to give you Telegram and shit like that.
Yeah.
That is a crazy like next level aspect to it of like it's not even A-list celebrities, but it's the scam accounts even that like, so Scammer Payback is a really well known one that
Yeah, yeah,
busts
yeah.
like the Indian call centers.
Yeah.
In almost every video, there is like a top comment from a fake for this much money,
Right.
and are just
Right.
stealing the accounts of people who are doing the thing to stop those people. It's such a crazy fucking world.
It's like a cat and mouse back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll never end. It'll just get worse.
Catfishing and like scamming in general is just such a crazy. The internet is such a dangerous, like.
I
it's
remember
so dangerous talking to random people on
Yeah.
the internet, and that sounds like such a boomer thing to say, but like it's true.
And we used to do it so much.
It's so true though, and yeah, we used to do it so much, and like I still would be willing to like talk to people on games or stuff
Right,
like that,
yeah.
but it's come
Or
to
like
a
you
point-
leave a Reddit comment.
Yeah, right. It comes to the point now though where like random people that I play a game with friend me, or like I try to go into a public
Yeah.
lobby, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll just mute everyone. Like,
Well, that's the thing, right? So, like, back in that 2015, you get on Xbox, you play Call of Duty, and you're like, oh, shit, I played, like, 3 games with this guy. I'm going to send him a friend request.
yeah,
And then you join him at a party one day, and you shoot the shit, and you fucking play Halo, right?
right.
that's not a thing anymore. Like you said, you get into a game now and someone sends you a friend request like, do I know you? Why do you want to interact with me?
Right. It's become a very different climate out there.
But I think that's good that we've learned that.
Probably.
We're at the point now where it's like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't, because of all the bad shit that's going on, we shouldn't be doing this.
Probably.
I think a lot about the fact that in early YouTube, you and I both had early YouTube channels that we won't discuss here.
Yeah.
But I used to frequently, because it was an instant messenger feature too.
Yeah.
You could fucking interact with anyone on YouTube and just send them a message.
Yes.
And I would frequently talk to just random fucking people on YouTube when I was
Right.
like 11.
Right.
That was definitely not a thing I should have been doing.
Right.
And I'm glad it didn't pan out worse than it did.
Yeah.
But like, that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're a stranger out there listening and you want to talk, 216-859-8699 is the number. What do you think about snakes?
I hate them when they're on planes, specifically.
In fact, you might even say I'm tired of them.
I get so sleepy when I'm around snakes. They just
Sam
make
Jackson was just fucking exhausted.
me. He was snoozing on that plane.
He's like, I'm tired of these snakes.
On this
Passed
motherfucker.
out.
Tired of these motherfucking snakes.
What does he say in the edited one? Monday, Friday? Is that what he says?
I forget. All of the like for TV edited swears are so funny.
That's another thing we don't get anymore with streaming. We don't get the stupid little edits
Yeah.
and
yeah,
like
we don't.
bootleg movies for TV.
Yeah.
I remember watching Children of the Corn that wasn't Children of the Corn.
It's interesting that we don't get even like explicit options for movies and stuff,
Yeah.
like where they just bleep out the. Because streaming, you have the ability to do that with streaming services.
Yeah.
You can like bleep it out in the editing process and just have that be an option for the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, or I mean,
I don't
like, most of the movies were for TV movies at some point.
Right,
So,
right.
like, you could just have two different versions. Like,
Exactly.
clean Wild Hogs.
Yes.
I don't think there's any expletives in Wild Hogs.
Gotta watch the clean version of Wild Hogs. It gets wild at the end.
Mild Hogs.
The hogs get, mild hogs. The hogs get very wild.
Tim
at the
Allen,
end.
hell of a potty mouth in Wild Hogs. I
Oh,
would not
God.
watch that around my grandmother.
I'd bite a snake.
Twice, even.
I would bite a fucking snake right now.
Yeah, tell me about, what's this guy's name?
Let me tell you about my good friend Santosh Lohar.
Let me talk to you.
Santosh Point, baby.
Straight from Tatooine, bro. Sounds like
That is the most glub shitto name
Yeah,
I've ever
yeah, it
heard in my
is, yeah.
life.
Glove Shitto. I was just thinking about Glove Shitto the other day. What a funny name. So this guy, Santosh, it is a sick name. Santosh Lohar. I'm probably butchering it too. But he was camping, and so he had been sleeping when the reptile attacked him. This prompted him to take the unusual tactic of quickly grabbing the reptile and with an iron rod and biting it twice. So he, like, I'm assuming, pinned it down with an iron rod, like grabbed it and then pinned the head down,
Yeah.
and then just bit the fucking. His two hands were tied up, holding the snake down. And he just bit that bitch.
I envisioned he like stabbed it with an iron thing, like a fork, and then brought it to his mouth and bit it.
This is like some shit you hear about in like the 1-page, half-page section of a history book, where it's
Yeah.
like, and also this guy invented the cure for snake venom when he pinned a snake down and bit it twice.
So it has a little subsection on snake venom. It says, although a venomous snake bite can prove lethal, a human biting the snake would have little consequences. It simply puts the person at risk of receiving another attack.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he definitely did more to himself.
This is because snake venom is stored in the reptile's glands and only triggered when it entered the bloodstream. Otherwise, it's just protein-like substance. So it's not even venomous until it's
You can
like...
eat snake.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Snake
they're
meat
not
is a thing.
poisonous.
Dude, you
They're
can wear,
venomous.
you can wear snake.
I wish I was wearing some snake right
I
now.
wish I was wearing some fucking snake.
Let me say, after this, we'll go get some matching snakeskin boots.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell fucking yeah.
Maybe a denim vest to go with it.
Yeah, I feel like cracking some beer cans over my head and drinking them.
I feel like watching Wild Hogs.
I feel like watching the X-rated version of Wild Hogs.
dude.
Wild
Parents,
Hogs.
put your kids to sleep or watching Wild Hogs.
It's crazy.
It's about to get turned in here.
John Travolta's in that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
And
I thought.
the other guy.
I love that.
Not
other
Martin Lawrence, the other guy.
guy. Oh, but I love Martin Lawrence
Dewey.
too.
I don't know his name.
Dewey? Wait, Dewey? From Malcolm in the Middle?
Yeah.
Dewey shows up?
Yeah, dude. It's wild.
He's like, hey guys, I'm Dewey from
He's
Malcolm.
still small.
Yeah, he's
still
still
fucking 8.
he's still Dewey.
Reese is there at some point. It's crazy, dude.
It's just a Malcolm in the Middle movie.
Malcolm in the Middle Wild Hogs crossover, dude. Oh, I do not want to mess with Francis when he ties up with the Del Fuegos. Let me tell you. Yeah, I'm pulling out all the Wild Hogs references today.
What's Bryan Cranston's name?
Bryan Cranston,
He's there.
Hal,
Hal. But
or
he's dressed up like the other
Walter.
guy. Yeah.
I promise everything we just said makes sense.
I love
Didn't sound like
canonical
it
Wild
did.
Hogs.
I'm making sure Wild Hogs, Malcolm in the Middle, and Breaking Bad all exist within the same canonical universe.
What would you do if a snake was in your tent and it lunged at you? You grab the tail with you grab the tail with one hand, and then you have a steel rod in your other hand, and you're pinning the mouth of the snake down so that it doesn't bite you.
I want to
I
know
What
would.
the fuck do you do?
he woke up from a
Right
snake
away.
bite, like it bit him.
I don't think it bit. I think it was about to attack him. From my understanding, so the 35-year-old from Panduka, India, had been sleeping when the reptile. Oh, so it did attack him.
Yeah, it bit him, and he bit
Hmm.
it back twice.
That's even more gangster, honestly. That's
You
even
know, let
better.
me show you. You gonna bite me?
Yeah, you're gonna bite me? No, I'm gonna bite you twice.
That's-
you motherfucker.
That's some fucking. You send one of ours to the hospital. We send one of yours to the grave.
yeah,
That's-
yeah,
that's what that is.
yeah,
No, it was
yeah.
It was in his village. There's a thing that if a snake bites you, there's a belief that if a snake
Oh.
bites you, you must bite it back twice to neutralize the venom.
That's not
Oh.
a thing, guys.
it's a
That's
belief.
super interesting. That's very interesting. Indian culture is crazy.
All right, listen. I've said this before.
Not in a bad way, just wild.
No, I've said this before. I'm not trying to shit on the whole country of India. However, when the only two things I hear about are tech scams and this man biting a snake to neutralize the venom, it's not looking good, guys.
Yeah.
You have to have some better representatives.
Listen though, it's so gangster. It's so gangster that he did it. He was just camping. Imagine coming back from camping and being like, "I'm going to be a hero." When they hear my
His
tale,
village,
my village
Yeah.
is going to think I'm a hero when I come back and tell the tale of how I actually did the thing.
Guys, I bit a snake. You got bit by a snake. No.
Yes.
I bit a snake.
Well, no, that's
Yeah.
what they're going to be like. So a snake bit you, and he's going to be like, "Yes, and I did the thing. I did the ancestral thing of biting it twice."
This is a Seinfeld bit at this point.
His
you
arm-
bit the snake.
His arm is like swollen. He's like, "No, I'm
Limping
fine.
back to the
I'm
fucking
fine.
village.
I bit it twice. The venom is not activated."
Did he
That's
also remove the venom from him at any point?
I have no idea.
Or did he just? Is this the end of him?
I does
he
not
was
say.
taken to the hospital where he was given anti-venom
There you go. There you go.
and antibiotics and released the following day.
There you go. So he was fun.
Did the snake die?
I
Probably.
I would fucking hope.
Well, here-
Yeah,
here-
he said he bit it to death.
Yes. Yes, Santosh.
So we're not talking like little nibbles. This dude went full chopper
Dude.
through the snake.
Yes. You're literally
He went
you're
riff-raff.
holding the snake. You're holding the tail of the snake, and you're holding a pole that is holding the head of it back so that it's not biting you. You're in a life or death situation, and you don't have any free hands. What are you gonna do? And it's
Throw
not.
it.
Well, it's not like you're holding the other head. Like it's not like you're holding the neck of the snake. You're holding a pole that's holding the neck of the
Yeah.
snake back. So
Do
you
like
don't.
a scooping action.
But you
Just,
don't
like,
have
toss it.
full grip of it, and so you know that as soon as you let go of the pole part of it, it can move and could lunge at you. You understand? Like, you know what I mean? It has that capability to slither through the air and lunge at you
I'm
if
dead.
you let go of the pole. So the pole, like, you would almost have to be holding the snake itself by its neck.
I can't
Can you
get
Like
twist
over.
it
below
like
its head.
spaghetti?
Ooh,
You could maybe, but then it's like natural state. Then it's just on the pole. that
yeah,
you're
you've
holding.
given it the advantage.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
He's no longer elongated.
Right, and its head is closer to your hand because it's going to
Yeah.
be slithering down the pole.
Yeah.
It
He-
really like you have to bite the snake.
He was sleeping. He got bit by a snake.
Ah, snake bite!
And immediately woke up, grabbed an ambiguous metal rod he had, and pinned this fucker to the ground.
In my head canon, that's one of the poles that's holding up the tent that he was
The
sleeping
tent is
in.
collapsing
yeah.
around him.
Yeah, he's life or death situation. There's this
You will not get away with this.
him versus a snake, Santosh v snake. Like I have to bite it for my ancestors. Yeah, dude, it's a part of their beliefs that you have to bite the snake twice.
I don't believe it.
He did that shit for his OGs.
Is he the first? Is
I
he the
would-
first one to actually do it?
And see, that's the thing. If he is, he's a hero,
Yeah.
dude. They're writing about him in that village's history books.
Yeah.
100%. He's the one who actually did it.
He's the,
But-
he's
but
the guy
then-
that bit the snake.
But then the thing is, he comes back to the town and they're like, you look a little swollen. He's like, no, I bit the snake
But-
twice.
You
Like,
have to go to the hospital,
He doesn't-
Santosh.
He doesn't have to tell them that he went to the hospital.
Yeah, what if he
guess.
like covert immediately drove to the hospital?
Well, he went to the hospital.
I'm saying,
But,
what if he covert immediately went to the hospital before returning
Yeah,
to the
I
village?
guess we
so he
don't-
came back and was like, guys, I
But
did
here's
it.
the
Well,
thing.
he was at a campsite. He wasn't at his village.
If they're writing
So-
about it in an
I
article,
know that. I'm saying he gets bit by the fucking snake, he bites the snake, and then goes to the hospital without telling anyone,
Here's the
and then
thing.
comes back to the village and is like, hey guys, it worked.
Here's the
I'm not-
caveat. Here's my caveat with
Yeah.
that.
Fuck you, Santosh.
If it's public enough to be writing about it in an article, the village probably
Oh,
knows.
yeah.
The village probably has access
What
to
fucking authority does Vanguard News have? All right?
valid. Yeah, I just
Well, I
feel
heard
like
about
they,
this on a couple different
Yeah,
news
Daily
sites.
Mail has it too.
Yeah.
I feel like the village probably knows.
I think
But they
Vanguard's
still-
actually a pretty big news source.
I would still hope that the village respects Santosh's
I
commitment.
respect Santosh.
He committed to the bit. He did that.
really did.
He committed to the bite. Twice, in fact. He
Now-
committed to the bite.
If I was Santosh,
Yes.
I'd be keeping the snake
Yeah.
because that would be
Yes.
Boots.
I would make
The snake would be Boots.
I would make something out of the
Yeah.
snake skin.
Taxidermy it and just
Yeah.
put it on the wall
With
with the
two
snake
bite marks.
bites.
I would
the
leave the
bites,
bite.
yeah.
I would leave the part with the bite mark in. I would make sure they sew in the bite mark.
You have
so that-
snakeskin boots with like 2 bite marks in them.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Human
fucking
bite
me.
marks.
That's me right
Your
there.
teeth imprint.
Yeah, I bit this snake.
Do you think you went all the way through?
I would.
Yes.
I
It's squished.
listen. If I'm in that situation, the only way that I'm biting a snake is if I'm biting it full chomp.
Like all the way through, you have snake meat in your mouth.
Chomp, chomp. I'm ripping. I'm going full primal,
you
and
eat
I'm ripping
Do you
it
eat
out.
the meat or
No,
do you spit it?
No, I
go
spit
in
it
for
out.
Another bite.
Yeah, I spit it out. I go, and then I go in
You
for another
do-
bite. I hack pua.
No.
I really hate that meme.
Yeah,
by
me
the
too.
way.
I just
It's
had to
really
take
The
it.
worst.
came out of nowhere.
It's not funny.
She was an elementary school teacher too.
No.
What?
Yeah.
No, that was a whole.
Oh,
the
that was a
internet
lie.
made that up.
That was a lie. What
Yeah.
was she?
She's like a bartender.
Oh, come
Well,
on. Okay, you
There's
can
like
say
a documentary on her now.
you can say Haktua, and I just the meme
she,
blew
she
up.
got
too
like a shit ton of
quickly.
money from Barstool Sports too. Like they
Yeah.
signed her to a contract or some shit.
Yeah,
Stupid.
too quick.
Anyway, you want to come on the show? 216-859-8699.
Yeah. But yeah, I would bite the
We're gonna
snake all
make
the
you
way
bite a
through
snake.
twice.
If you want to bite a snake, 216-859-8699. I'll provide the snake.
The gyros at Arby's are actually pretty good. gyros.
Oh yeah, no, the gyros at Arby's are
They're
pretty
gyros,
good.
but yeah.
I hate that you call them fucking gyros. They're gyros.
They're gyros. It's a Greek word. Damn
I'm
it.
not Greek.
It's a Greek
I'm
word.
not
Damn it.
Greek.
Dude, get him to the Greek.
I'm not Greek. I don't go in the fucking.
What do you call it? Parmesan. It's parmesan then for you, buddy.
No, it's not.
Parmigiano.
I'm not
It's
Greek.
called a fucking gyro.
I don't drive through Taco Bell and go, yeah, let me get pollo. I don't do that. I say
Ugh.
chicken because I'm not Mexican.
Yeah, Evan, I don't go through the drive-thru and say, I want spaghetti. I say, give me the noodles.
Alright, so what the fucking Peacemaker showed up at a wrestling show?
Yeah, dude, he started hitting FUs on people, and he was
What
wearing the
the
mask.
fuck?
He was wearing the silver mask. He said, I'm Peacemaker, activate wrestling powers.
Fucker.
Fucker. His classic line. I've never seen Peacemaker.
Me neither.
Me neither.
I heard it's really good.
Yeah, no, I've heard it's very good. So much so that James Gunn was like, "No, this is going to be canon to the
Yeah.
to the new DC." Which I mean, I guess that has to be pretty good.
I've seen clips of it, and I guess Cena improvises a lot in it, and they just leave it in.
I'm glad that they're giving him that comedic role that he wanted. You know, you could
Yeah.
tell that in all of his movies he wanted to be. And like the Ricky Stenicki, I haven't seen it, but I heard that
It's
was
bad. I don't like it.
really
Well, personally, I
okay.
don't like
No,
it.
no, no,
but
that's
I
fair.
can see why people.
That's valid. But like I can see that he wants that comedy
Yeah.
role, and I feel like Peacemaker is like doing him that justice.
Yeah.
So, good for Cena. Good for John
He
Cena.
doesn't have to be the Marine anymore.
Yeah. Anything to think about it, dude. He started doing movies. That was 2010, 11, 12.
Oh,
didn't it?
before that, Marine was like 2007.
Oh my gosh, he's
Yeah.
been doing movies for a while.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
maybe 5. Also, I think we've talked about this on air. I'd like to watch all the Marines. I've only ever seen one. I think it was the Marine 3.
Isn't it different
Um,
Marines every time?
Well, no,
It's like the Twilight Zone.
You're about to enter the Marine. It was Cena, and he started the franchise, and it was only supposed to be one movie.
Uh-huh.
And then the second one was Ted DiBiase Jr.
Weird.
And
Weird
then it was
second one.
And then it's been The Miz for like the past
yeah, I was
5
gonna
movies.
say, isn't The Miz like it
yeah.
now?
So I want to know if like
Interesting.
is there a canonical story between these 3 men?
Well, it's like the Bourne identity. There's all the Bourne movies have one guy in it, and then there's one Bourne movie that has a different lead guy. I forget which Bourne movie it is, but then they go back to it being the
And we
original.
just don't talk
I
about
think
it.
I think Matt Damon is in the original Bourne movies, and then it's someone else in like the Bourne Identity or something like that. I could be completely wrong.
I've never
but
seen those either, so
I've only saw the one where it was
Oh.
the different guy, and I was very.
that's
thrown
helpful,
off.
Shane.
I don't remember who it was, but John Cena's retiring, so
Yeah, next year,
next year.
not now.
And it seems that he is going to be doing shows, like he's going to be doing WWE all 2025. He's not going to be
Yeah.
doing any
He's-
movies or anything. Like he's going to be fully, like he's not going to be part time. He's going to be full time.
He said he's committed to 30 dates at the moment
30
as of
to
right
40, yeah.
Which I mean, that's
now. Yeah, it's pretty solid.
And
Right.
he said that it's not going to be like the wrestling year. It won't end at WrestleMania.
right.
It's gonna end in December.
December.
Right,
Yeah.
January through December, which is cool.
Solid.
That's good. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that part of it. And
What?
just the whole like he's gonna be there for a year. I know it's a weird thing that a lot of people on the outside won't get. The wrestling year ends at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's not gonna. I guess it's
Because that means he's leaving the month before Royal Rumble, and that just seems like it's halfway through the story, you know?
well, it's probably just gonna be his individual story, and I would bet I would like to see them give it to. I would like to see him 17 and beat Flair. Give him the belt 17
think-
times.
I think they probably
will
will.
be
and
the
beat
case.
Flair. I think that'd be cool. I would like that. And then like
Either
end his
tie him
story.
or beat him.
And-
That's
well-
So
it.
he's tied right now.
Is he?
Yeah, 16
Oh,
times. Him and
okay.
Flair.
Just make him a transitional champion. Give it to someone else.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's very fun.
Piss everyone off of him, take it off Cody.
Yeah, have him take it
Lose
off
it to
Cody.
Solo.
Yeah. Have it for like literally a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so Cena came out at Money in the Bank Saturday, which I still hate Saturday pay-per-views. Cena came out at Money in the Bank Saturday kind of randomly.
Why?
Because it feels wrong.
Okay.
Because then you watch a whole fucking pay-per-view till midnight, and then you got another day in the weekend, and you're like, oh, this is weird.
Fair enough.
I
I think Saturday's more accessible to more people as opposed to
mean,
Sunday.
it probably is. It's just,
Just
growing
my
up for
opinion.
fucking, 16 years or, well, I guess 20-something years of Sunday pay-per-views. You end
No, I
the
get
week
that.
by watching a pay-per-view, and then you get to talk about it the next day at school
Right,
or at
right, right.
work. Cena comes out randomly at Money in the Bank. I don't know if he was promoted. I didn't see anything promoted about it. and he cuts a promo saying he's leaving. He thanks Toronto and
Toronto.
all this kind of stuff. Toronto, Canada.
Canada.
And he missed opportunity there not to have The Rock do the intro.
Come on.
But he comes out and he cuts this promo about how he's leaving in 2025 is going to be his last year, and he's going to do a whole year-long run to go out on his terms, essentially. Which, interesting concept. Only issue I had with the whole thing, he came out and was wearing a fucking shirt, his new shirt that is his farewell tour shirt, and it said
the last time is now.
The last time is now, and it had 2025 on it. So, like, before he said anything, you knew this wasn't him retiring.
Yeah, when he came out, he held up the little towel, and he was like, it's time. He, like, you know how he does, like, the let's go to work or what? He said, like, it's time. It's time.
Yeah.
So, like, he already kind of spoiled, which, I mean, I guess if he said it pretty early into the promo.
Right.
So, like, you know, like, I guess that was the whole point of the promo.
Right.
That's what he was getting at, even before he said the Canada shit. So, like, it's fine to me, but I thought that same thing of, like, he kind of spoiled it before he even said anything. Like, he kind of ruined it for himself.
But he's apparently, and I hope that you're right with the case that he's going to have a mostly wrestling-based year in 2025.
I feel like he will.
But that also determines on if Peacemaker gets picked up for another season.
Well, he said he's currently recording season 2.
Yeah, they're working on season 2 now.
So I would assume that 2025 is going to be his
off season.
This whole time is going to be his off season. He's going to be wrestling the whole time, and then
after that, Peacemaker.
Right. January. What would it be? January 2026.
Yep.
But it's probably the next season 3 filming of Peacemaker.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or something like that. That's what I would assume.
That's what I thought.
Like, that's what makes the most sense to me, is that he's just going to be full time on roster for 2025.
I got some real stupid questions about his return. Like, is he going to shave his head again?
I really hope he does, because the bald spot is very bad.
You know, for the longest time, and we lived through Super Cena era, and that was dreadful, and I hated Cena for a long time. But the thing is, when I started watching wrestling, he was just getting out of, like, Dr. Thugonomics and into, like, the whole chain gang thing like that.
Dude. I loved it.
And he started shaving his head because he was, like, the Marine, right? That was his whole gimmick.
I like the camo cargo shorts, dude.
And
that whole era.
And the entire time that he was good guy, face of the PG era, company guy John Cena,
when he came back at the Rumble and he had the black and orange hustle, loyalty, respect shirt. That's so sick.
I'm like, damn, dude, I miss Thugonomics. Thugonomics Cena had like a flat top fade.
Thugonomics
so
Cena
I miss
was
Cena
cool.
with hair. And then Cena came back with hair, and I'm like, you know what? That's a good look. Now he's losing his hair. He's quite a bit.
Well, he looks thinner, and he like, especially you were mentioning before we got on at Mania, he looked a lot thinner, a lot more pale, and like the B spot is just it's right, it's front and center, man.
There's a lot. That's a lot.
I love when he like runs out and throws the hat out like he doesn't care, like he's going, you know, he's running in, he's throwing the hat, he doesn't care. That's cool to me. I fuck with that. But then, dude, shave the head at least.
I mean, that's the thing that's interesting. Like, I prefer hair Cena, but he's losing it now.
Yeah.
And like, dude made his entire career with a shaved head. Just shave your head.
Yeah, just shave it again, man. Especially if you're doing WWE just shave it again, bro. You're fine. Like, I would be down for him to do a full Triple H.
Oh yeah,
just shave the whole thing, bro.
Grow beard.
Yeah, grow a beard.
That'd be terrifying.
That'd be scary.
See big bearded Cena.
But then that's the other thing too. So at the post conference, he at the scrum, he said like he's not going to be done after 2025, and he's still going to work behind the scenes. What do you think that will entail? Do you think
TKO board?
Yeah, I think he's going to be put on the board.
Valid.
Because I don't see, he'll probably be backstage to give pointers, things like that. I don't see him becoming a trainer. I don't see him being like on-screen GM. I don't think they'll put him on commentary.
Right.
I think he will be on the TKO board alongside The Rock. Because I think he is a good public relations guy.
Yeah, that logically feels like the most comfortable spot for him. It would be interesting to see him in a couple other places though. On-screen GM would be cool.
I wouldn't mind.
Commentary
It'd be
would be cool. Like
GM Cena would be awesome.
Help him, like give him a part of NXT with Shawn.
Sure,
that'd be cool.
Sure, yeah, that'd be cool.
Like there are a couple spots where you could put him that it would be cool to see Cena still. But like my thought is he's just going to be full-time celebrity and like do movies and shit.
Yeah.
Now. So like how much are you going to get him post? You know, and
that's why I'm saying TKO board, because The Rock still does movies. The Rock still sells product. Like
right.
He holds a high position, but he's not a sole position. He's on the board.
He'll probably just get some stock, and and that again, like I said, that feels like the most logical spot for him.
in a board meeting with his fucking red hat on.
Yeah.
No.
Full suit red hat.
Yeah. Red suit that says hustle, loyalty, respect on it. Never
Armbands
give up.
on the suit.
Rise above hate on the sleeves of the suit jacket. Patches. Yeah.
Interesting marketing on the merch too. I like it. It's gonna sell a lot.
Someone asked him if he was gonna like turn heel, and he was like, "It's way too late."
Yeah.
He's like, that never gonna happen. Would be cool, but
I came to this conclusion, and it's something I thought about the last couple times I saw Cena, because he had the big Mania turn. He did something like the year prior. He had a match with Solo and a couple things prior
he
to
had
that.
like a small feud with Solo.
Yeah, he came back for like a little mini run there at some point, and he
He
had a
had
match
the-
with Cody or something too,
well,
tag
he
match.
had the belt too. He had the what belt? The red, white, and blue one. The one that has the flag on it.
The U.S. title?
Yeah, that was a while ago though, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that was a hot minute ago.
Was it?
That was like 2016 now, 2017. Yeah, that was a while ago now.
Come on, Cena.
But like he's had a couple things here and there, and I've noticed. And again, I spent a long time with PG era, forced Cena to be the top guy. Always had the belt,
Right.
unbeatable, buried a shit ton of talent that could have gotten over, like
Yeah.
Barrett and people.
Roman Reigns just did.
But here's the thing: it feels like the past few times we've seen Cena, and it could be a TKO thing. It could just be where the product is. He seems very authentic, and it's not like I'm putting on super corporate good guy. I
Yeah.
can't swear. Here's colorful shirts.
Yeah.
It just seems like, yeah, no, this is John Cena, but I can also see John Cena is a person now.
I noticed it when he was when he was on stage or when he was in the ring and in the post conference scrum or in the post thing scrum. I forget what it's called.
Media scrum.
Yeah, media scrum. But like, he seems to be giving the company their flowers like tenfold.
Yeah.
Because he understands that they will probably end up giving it back to him in the near future tenfold.
Right.
You know, like the same amount. Like, he sees it coming, and that's why he's doing the retirement on his own terms, and so he's just doing everything he can to give the business his love
Right.
and its flowers. You know what I mean?
I like the last year of Cena, specifically because we haven't actually had Cena like for so long.
Right.
Right.
He hasn't been a part of the roster. He's been a pop-up. He's been
Right.
Cena's here.
Wha-
Now we'll actually have one last year of full wrestling Cena, and then
Yeah.
he can retire.
Right. I think
If he
and
would have retired after just popping up,
it would have been like,
yeah.
yeah, I agree.
Inarguably, the company right now is the hottest it's ever been. I know people
Yeah.
like to reference the Attitude Era, but
It's so cool.
in terms of like pure revenue and viewership,
so cool again.
yeah, it is like the top that it's ever been with the most eyes on it's ever had, which is crazy. And it's interesting how it's being presented without Vince McMahon because it is a TKO thing now.
Yeah.
And during this, even his in-ring promo, but more so the media scrum, it really gave off the appearance of it's sports-centered content. Like they're presenting it like you're watching NFL.
I love that.
He
too.
came out and announced his retirement is the following year. That's something you don't see in it's never happened really that I can think of in WWE. People either have to go out due to injury or they just stop
Right.
being active one day and they have like a last match.
Right.
You know, he has said
Or they fizzle out
yeah.
and then they do it at like some other
right. And he's like, well, I'm going to have a full calendar year. This is going to be my last year. And when do you hear that other than like NFL players, NASCAR will announce their
Right.
last year ahead of time.
Right.
Like this is a very interesting move, and you got to think. He talks about the fact that he'd pitched it before to WWE of doing like one big final run like this. I think it's got a lot to do with the whole TKO side of it and presenting it more like a sports product.
Ah, okay. I see.
That's
that.
my opinion. I don't know if that's right.
No, that's a really
it feels right.
yeah. That's an interesting take. I like that.
Even like the post-match interviews.
Yeah.
because I completely
everything.
agree, and I think that's exactly what they were going for. Is they want it to feel more like a sporting event.
Yeah.
You know, like you're watching sports.
And again, of
not-
course, it is John Cena. He's the biggest fucking name in the past 20 years. They have a lot of money to make by announcing this. And hey, you got all these dates. It's going to be your last time to see him.
Right, and I think it's like one of those situations of right time, right place. Also, though,
Right
specifically
management.
right
Yeah.
person though. Like
Yeah.
he happens to be big enough, hot enough still
Mhm.
where he can do a retirement tour and
Yeah.
And he's still in shape.
still
he's
in shape,
still-
not broken,
Yeah.
it's not going to be like Brothers of Destruction versus
Right,
DX
right.
where
Yeah.
it's like four broken men that used to be
And it's not
giant.
sad to watch.
Right,
Like,
it's going to be
these guys
cool
used
to
be
watch,
good.
and I bet they will. Like that's why I feel like they are going to give him the 17th champion. Like I feel like I could see that, and it would be cool. And again, I think even something as small as a transitional champion for a month is
Well,
like
let
valid.
Me, let me
you know?
float the big question now.
Mhm.
Who's his retirement match? Who's his last match?
CM Punk.
I think it should be Punk. I think Orton could be a good
Punk.
pick too.
Ooh, Orton would
Orton.
be good.
It's a shame. It was a shame that Cena didn't retire Kurt Angle, number one.
Yeah.
But it's a shame Angle won't be able to retire Cena, number two.
Who retired Kurt Angle?
Baron Corbin at WrestleMania.
Sick.
Really just kind of to capitalize on the heat he had.
Yeah,
Threw him
yeah,
in there. Yeah.
really fizzled out of.
Yep.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. Like, he's probably gonna go out with heat too. It's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
a big match. It's it's big match John.
I could
It's
very well
gonna
see
be
it
his
being
l-
Cody.
His
And
last.
especially if it's after Mania, he could just
That's the thing that's interesting to me is he specifically said Mania is not the end of the year.
After Mania, and like you said, it's
He
going to
can
be
leave with the belt.
December. It's going to be before the Rumble. So, like, it's an interesting placement of in time canonically of the story. Where,
Now,
like,
Back in the day, December pay-per-view used to be TLC. I don't know
Mhm.
if they still do that. I know they're moving away from the match branded
they're-
pay-per-views.
I feel like they're switching, or at least they want to switch
Yeah.
a lot of their.
Well, they're moving the
PPEs,
Rumble out of January for like the first time ever. It's like gonna be like the first week of February now.
wow.
I heard that I don't know how true this is, but like management doesn't like Money in the Bank, the men's Money in the
Yes.
Bank.
Yeah.
It's
Well, they don't
which-
like. It's not so much the concept of the match. It's they don't like match or pay-per-views being named after a match. So they're not doing Hell in a Cell this year. They're floating around different names for it. They don't want to do Chamber this year. And because back in the day it was No Way Out with the pay-per-view,
Yeah.
and that pay-per-view had Elimination Chamber.
Right.
Money in the Bank originated at WrestleMania. I think that'd be a cool place to put it back, honestly, because then you have
Yeah.
a WWE calendar year to cash in.
Right.
But yeah, I am of the opinion that maybe since they're moving all these things around
Dude,
anyway, we'll
really-
have a Cena-themed pay-per-view.
That
Oh, that would be cool.
Cena-centric pay-per-view
Yeah,
would
we'll have
be
like
wild.
the C-Nation pay-per-view.
That'd be cool.
Because it wouldn't be the first time it's been done. NWO Sold Out was a thing. They had a whole NWO pay-per-view for one faction.
Mhm.
So I could see like a Cena-themed pay-per-view.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad that wrestling is cool. I like wrestling
The
again,
time
guys.
is now
It's fun.
pay-per-view.
The time is now.
Yeah.
The time is over.
Yeah. Yeah. The last time,
The
the,
last
pay-per-view.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I 10 out of 10 could see that being a thing if he's not going out at Mania.
I'm really excited for Netflix too, and I'm really
Yes.
excited to
Yeah.
see. I want to see how much they ramp it up when
Well,
they
they
get over
already
the Netflix.
have.
That's what I'm saying. They already have, and they're not on Netflix yet. They just have a locked-in deal. What's it going to be like when they do get over there?
Yeah.
Just solely, like, I don't expect them to ramp it up to 11, but like, what is going to, what's it going to be like? What's
Well,
the difference going to be?
So the rumor is Fox has been very nonplussed about WWE recently because of how often they're bleeping things and the excessive violence and the blood.
Interesting.
And the rumor is that that's intentional, and they're trying to piss off Fox to cut the contract early to move over sooner.
That sounds like a Triple H thing.
That's
not gonna
sick.
lie.
That's
I,
so
I will
awesome.
say, now this is back before he took complete creative control. When Triple H was first put on the board, this is like almost 2 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
They did Rollins versus Matt Riddle, and it was called a fight pit match. It was like a UFC cage match, and that was the first time in like years that they had people saying "fuck" and it was just bleeped on TV, and they mentioned Matt Riddle's divorce that he was going through,
Yeah.
and like it felt like a really personal thing. And Triple H did a scrum after that pay-per-view and said, "Oh no, I wanna present it as if it's a real thing, and people are gonna swear and we're gonna bleep it. That's what it's gonna be. It's not gonna be TV 14 where
Right.
you can tune in and hear fuck, but you know what's said under the bleep."
Right.
So that was like his stance. Like you said, I want to see how far they go on Netflix now.
Right. Right.
Because to me, I think that's probably where they're going to stay. I don't think you're going to tune into Raw and hear, Cody Rhodes saying, "What the fuck is up, Dallas?" I don't think that's going to be
Yeah.
it. But I think it'll be close. I think there'll still be some bleeps in there, but
I think we're gonna hear.
I think we're gonna hear Fox.
I think it'll move up to
Seth
TV 14
fucking
at
Rollins.
least. Seth
Yeah.
fucking Rollins is going to hit if that's the first thing that's said.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. And like Cena's last, it's gonna be it's
Punk
gonna
on Netflix with no filter.
be it's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be so cool.
Yeah.
What time is it's gonna air? So it's just gonna go live, and there's gonna be a new episode on Netflix that you like. I wonder
It's
how it's
live,
gonna.
yeah.
I wonder how it's gonna work.
And again, we've talked about that before, but like Netflix is going to have to completely reformat to have a live programming section.
Yeah, right. How is that gonna work? I wonder if it's going to because I guess they probably will have to reformat.
Yeah. There's probably going to be something along the lines of like a cable TV format where it's got
yeah.
blocks of programming.
Yeah, it's gonna look different and shit. Very interesting. The layout will look different.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
I wonder if that's going to be the top revenue earner for Netflix. Because Netflix has been like some trouble the
Probably.
past couple of years getting money.
Probably. And I bet that a move like this will make other live sports look at Netflix and streaming services, because they already do. Like
Yeah.
Hulu has live sports
Yeah.
and shit. Like, you know, like it's already a thing. But people will look, or these sports brands will look at Netflix and be like, okay, eyebrows raised.
And I really hope it goes, because again, I was against the move initially.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope it goes well enough to where not only does Netflix carry Raw, it carries SmackDown
Yeah.
and NXT
Yeah.
and the pay-per-views,
Yeah.
and we can just move the network that doesn't exist anymore to Netflix instead of
Yes.
Peacock.
Yes.
Because right now we've got the network on Peacock. We can't watch replays on Peacock. We got to watch those on Hulu the next day. NXT still going on USA.
Right.
So that's not on there till the next day. Like everything's so scattered and everywhere, and it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. A&E does documentaries
Yeah.
just on their YouTube. WWE does full bios on
Yeah.
their YouTube. Like
Yeah.
nothing feels formatted.
Yeah.
Like streamline the shit, and if Netflix is the place for it, Netflix is the place for it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's what Peacock was going to be. I was wrong.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if Netflix does things right, they'll just add like a WWE Network section.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like Peacock wasn't big enough, but Netflix is.
Yeah.
Netflix is big enough to carry the weight of WWE
Yeah.
and have it be profitable and like.
Well, we've noticed that Peacock is definitely not big enough when you're tuning into any pay-per-view.
Hey,
'Cause-
listen,
Yeah.
I want to put this out here too. I watched the Money in the Bank match in Spanish
Yeah.
Oof.
because I got home. It was 3 a.m. by the way. Like it
Mhm.
wasn't right after the pay per view. It was
Right.
3 a.m.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I'll watch the fucking replay of Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Only one they had uploaded was Spanish.
Ugh.
So fuck Peacock.
That's so annoying.
But every time you watch a pay-per-view on Peacock,
Like, imagine it's just a Netflix-esque layout,
Mhm.
but you can like like it's 3 a.m. You get home, you can just replay the pay-per-view.
Exactly.
You can just replay the episode.
And that's exactly what the network was, and I miss it so much.
right.
And it was $9.99 a month.
That's such a good price.
So good.
Yeah,
and you
that
got
sucks.
original content, and
That
they
sucks.
I
Why,
miss the
why did they
network.
get rid of that? Money?
Money.
Yeah, fucking Vince.
Vince McMahon loves
well,
money.
streaming was just popping off.
Old,
'Cause it was-
old shit chest Vince.
It was
Oh,
COVID.
shit, just Vince.
It was COVID times, and they were like, all right, let's hop into streaming.
Listen,
And they chose Peacock out of all of them.
there's only one place I go now for streaming. Honestly, if
Mhm.
I'm being honest, there's only one place to go for streaming because
Yeah.
it's on 24/7. It's live.
Yeah.
You get great content and a variety of it,
Mm.
and it's free.
Oh.
It's WSRRradio.com.
Oh.
And you can take us with you anywhere you go with the Live 365 mobile app. You can put us in your car. You
Yeah.
can put us on Bluetooth speakers. You can put us in your
Literally.
headphones.
Yeah.
You could be one of those terrible, annoying people that listens to it out loud on their phone in the store.
It's so easy.
You could even do that.
Yeah.
The Rebel Radio show's live every Monday, 5 p.m., right here on WSRR Radio, but we're also podcast form every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern,
Yeah.
on Spotify, Pandora, Google, TuneIn, Amazon, iHeart, Apple, you name it, we're on it.
Yeah.
The Rebel Podcast, 10 a.m. Eastern, all major streaming platforms, and you can catch Rebel replays on WSRR Radio at 5 p.m. through the week. You can also catch recasts of The Pigeonhole as well as Shaney's show Off Air.
I do show.
Those come out twice a month, the first and last Tuesday of each month on all major streaming platforms. But, of course, the whole runtime, schedules, showtimes, blogs, articles, interviews, and more is at WSRRradio.com. You can also get to our Discord server from there. You get exclusive content in the Discord server. You get to chat with all of us and all the other listeners out there about things involving our shows, as well as conspiracy theories, liminal spaces, wrestling, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, it goes down in the Discord, WSRRradio.com. And, of course, 216-859-8699 is that number to text in. That's 216-859-8699. Anytime you're listening to any program, that number is always open and available. Another quick shout out real quick to True Vault Escapades, weekdays 10 p.m. right here on WSRR Radio, as well as Synergy Music Studio in Chicago. So if you're in the Chicago area, you need a good studio to produce your music. They also do Synergy live sessions, unplugged sessions, where they do video and light shows for you as well. But if you're not in the Chicago area, they do remastering as well. You can send them your music and they mix it down perfectly for you. I can attest, all of Synergy's music that comes in from all their artists, we put right on the air. I don't even have to touch them as far as editing process goes. They just go right into the system.
Love that.
But until next week, I've been Radio's Rebel DJ Style. To my right, Shaney.
Bye, everyone.
On the board is Jules.
Bye.
Peace.